Season 2, Season 2, Season 2, Season 2. What's going on, everybody? Hope you enjoyed watching episode 8 of the Acolyte, the season finale. I definitely did. It was just, I think I had a few complaints about how things were going in the last episode when I did my live, but there was just one thing that made me happy, and I was like, I'm cool. I don't need anything else. I'm straight. That's all I needed to see. Because now I know what's about to happen. I'm good. Everything, all the issues of the whole season, the short episodes, whatever, I don't care. You showed me the one thing that I needed to see, and I'm good. I'm fine. Now, to get into the rest of the show and, well, really the rest of the season and the rest of this episode, let me start with this episode. So, did I like this episode overall? There were some choices that I wasn't okay with, but overall, yeah, I was cool with it. You know, I was cool with the episode. The way it ended, not my favorite choice, but and I know it's gonna be a lot of upset people. Oh, the lore, this isn't how canon is supposed to go. What are you talking about? Like, y'all have no idea what canon is supposed to be like or anything. Half of y'all don't even read any of these books, and y'all think the movies is what is, you know, the foundation of everything, and it's just not that anymore. It's the franchise is too big now. Like, there's so many different pockets of fans that you're gonna get a lot of different types of fans now. My son is a perfect example of a fan that has come in from a different angle. Like, he came in from the sequels. He's a sequel kid, and basically he loves the books, he loves Legends, he loves it all. And he's not, criticizing based on, his nostalgia, because he's still a kid. So, for me personally, there was a time when it was just all about the movies for me, but nah, I read everything. I'm familiar with all of it. So when people come to me talking about how canon is ruined, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because clearly you don't know anything about the lore. Like, tell me where canon is violated, and usually they can't articulate that. Never can articulate that. But anyway, I just got done snacking on popcorn and everything. I just got done watching it, and I had a ball watching it. But so it did not end how I expected. It did not end how I expected. I thought that Chimera was dead. I thought he was a dead man. As soon as I saw what I saw, I was like, oh, he got to die now. There's no way he could stay alive. But that was me basing my thoughts on what I think is supposed to happen with Star Wars lore. And this is the same thing that I'm talking about with the people who don't even keep up with Star Wars lore as much as I do. They talking about canon is ruined and everything, and they had no clue. And for me personally, I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't necessarily know what canon is supposed to be like, because my thoughts of what canon is supposed to be like is that there's only 2 Sith. And at the end, it's implied that we have our 2, but I won't say anything for those of you who haven't watched it. I'll just leave that there. But We don't know who else may be out there. We don't know. I just leave you to watch it. I'll just leave you to watch it. All I know is that I am satisfied because maybe 2 days ago or something I read an article. No, it was a day ago. I read an article that was saying that Lucasfilm is not getting ready to budge because of all the fandom reactions. Like, they're not getting ready to shift and move things around because the fans are acting crazy. And I'm all for it. That's all I needed to hear, which lets me know is season two. Go ahead, Leslie, and tell your story. Tell your whole story. Slow roll it, baby. I'm here for it. Yes, sir. Slow roll it. Have that slow burn just like Dave Filoni does. Man, so I also thought that one of the sisters would end up dead, but what ended up happening, now in my live last week, I mentioned I wanted it to end like Ruler 2, Darth Bane Ruler 2, the novel, and it kind of did. It's kind of, sort of, just a little bit. Like, it's not the same necessarily, but it is similar in some ways, because I don't want to spoil it. Dang, I don't want to spoil it. All I'll say is one of the characters is Daravit in Ruler 2. One of the characters is Daravit. And that character does not go out like Daravit, but it's kind of like a similar thing happens. Like, you know, you had Bane and Xana. They had to, you know, figure out a way to continue to keep the Sith secret, and the Sith secret is safe. That's all. Well, it's not completely safe. I won't say it's completely safe, but because the Jedi are still so, they just, and of course this story is supposed to lead up to the downfall of the Jedi. Matter of fact, I think Grace Randolph mentioned that the Order 66 was not the Jedi ruining themselves. Like, the Jedi weren't loved when Order 66 went down. Like, remember, democracy died with thunderous applause. That was the Senate, and they were not fans of the Jedi anymore. And we're going to see the slow burn of the Senate hating the Jedi, which showed up in this episode. They don't hate the Jedi, but they don't trust the Jedi, and the trust is going to go slowly but surely over time. And I guess what's going to end up happening is this show will lead up to the Phantom Menace, where we start to see the Senate is just like, they don't trust the Jedi, but they will allow the Jedi to fight for the Republic. But in this case, this is the very beginning of where the relationship between the Sith and the Jedi begins. I just said in the beginning. This is the beginning. This is where the relationship with the Senate and the Jedi begins. So, I think Vernestra Rowe will be the. Well, I don't know what she says at the end, and I really want to know what she says at the end. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch it, because there's another moment. I can't even say anything because I don't want to spoil it. It's still a little early. Wow, I had a great time watching this. That's all I have to say. A lot of people gonna be mad, and they'll probably make fun of my take on it or whatever, but I don't care because most of these people don't read what I read. Like they don't even have the same level of knowledge as I do when it comes to this universe, the Star Wars universe. So whatever comments I get, whatever, fine. You want to say what you want to say, whatever. Your understanding is of the movies and the TV shows. You have no discipline to pick up a book. Just pick up a book, even a comic. Just a comic. There was so much going on in this episode. It was just subtle, and I love how Leslie Hedlund did not explain everything. Everything don't need to be explained. You don't need to know. Just like with the sequel trilogy, everybody wanted everything explained. No, in the original trilogy, a whole lot of stuff was left unexplained, and we was all left with questions. I remember growing up how many people used to argue about what certain things were in the original trilogy. This is way before any mention of the prequels. Because I think by the time I was in college, the special edition came out, and I think that was when that was what brought up a lot of the conversations that I used to have when I was in college. And I remember people used to fight all about it all the time. And then when I was a kid, a lot of people used to say a bunch of things about particularly Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Not so much A New Hope, which was just Star Wars when I was a kid, but then it turned into A New Hope. But honestly, I think that Leslie Hedlund is probably one of the top tier storytellers. Maybe people won't agree with that, but I think so, because what she did in this was give us basically it's not a Sith story necessarily, but I think what's going to happen is it will start turning towards the Sith story, but we'll start getting both sides of the story. Pretty much just like with the Darth Bane trilogy. Because the Darth Bane trilogy is a Sith trilogy. It's just you get both sides of the story the whole time. But mostly you're getting Darth Bane. In Path of Destruction, you're getting Darth Bane, his perspective most of the time. Then in Ruler 2, most of the time you're getting Xana's perspective. And then Dynasty of Evil, you're getting all these different perspectives. I forget what the woman's name who was Khalib's daughter. I forget what her name was, but you're getting her story, Xana, and then Cognis, and Bane. So it's multiple perspectives in there. But from Path of Destruction, you get mostly Bane, but then you also get the Jedi as well. Uh, uh, what's his name? Valentine Farfalla. His perspectives in there. Who else was in it? There were more. Dang, it's been a while since I read that book. It's been a while. So I can't be forgetting that one. That's my favorite of all three of them. It's been too long then, so I guess I have to go over it again. But anyway, the reason why I think that she's top tier is because it's just we're finally getting the Sith perspective, and I know she's getting ready to go deeper. I know she will. She's gonna pick at that little. She's gonna pick at that scab, and like what I know is that everybody's gonna get upset because she's picking at the scab, but she's not pulling it all the way off. She's just picking at it, and I like that she's just picking at it. Cause every single time she tells just a little bit more, I'm like, man, I want more. And so that's what good writing is. The whole point of writing is to make you read the next line. That's it. Now, the writing is like the dialogue is a little clunky, which is Star Wars. That's Star Wars, man. It's not going to be like Andor is novel quality storytelling with novel quality dialogue. And Acolyte is novel quality storytelling, but with original trilogy dialogue. Not even, because there's some points in the dialogue that are still pretty good. Like I get sequel vibes from that, but nothing is worse than prequel dialogue. Nothing is worse than prequel dialogue. Let me think about that before I just commit to that, because I think I have to say that prequel dialogue is pretty bad. It doesn't get worse than prequel dialogue. Yeah. I had to go with that. But as far as writing goes, like the sequels were, they could be better. Like story wise, the sequels could have been better because there was no plan, and I wish they would have had a plan. But I can tell there's a plan here. There's a plan. The only issue was that the episodes were so short, and now it's time for her to get more screen time per episode. Give her more screen time per episode. Give her a chance to flesh out her story a little bit more. It's a little frustrating because all the episodes are short and you cut it at 8 episodes, but either give her 12 to 14 episodes, and they could be 30 minutes. I don't care if they're 30 minutes, or give her 10 episodes at an hour a piece, because this 8 episode crap is, I'm not feeling none of that. But 10 episodes, an hour a piece, please. Thank you. I'd be grateful. I'd be very grateful. Hour a piece. 14 episodes, an hour a piece wouldn't be bad either. But I'm cool with 10. But yeah, if you come in here to hate on me because you think that Leslie Hedlund's writing is bad, tell me what books you read. Tell me what books you've written. Tell me what you've written, and then we'll holler. Because I've written and I've read plenty. Like, since 2008, my habit has been to read at least 1 hour a day. For the first 10 years of that, so from 2008 to 2018, I would probably average about 3 hours a day. And then after that, it'd be about an hour. Because, it's still a habit. But I've read enough. I can't read. Like, I have a backlog of books, but I'm like, I get to it later. I'm really reading a lot of fiction nowadays, and my sister just put me up on a book. Happy birthday to her. Today is her birthday. This is a great day. Happy birthday to my sister. But she recommended a book to me, and I'm getting ready to check that out. Parable of the Sower. Was that what it was? Parable of the Sower? Yeah, Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. So I'm gonna check that out because she recommended it to me. Actually, it seems like it's a very highly rated book, and I'm totally into sci-fi, and it's written by someone who looks like me, so I'm cool with that. I haven't been into sci-fi from people who look like me, really. And this show was that for me too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm living it up right now. I'm having a great time. And some of y'all might be mad about that too. I don't care. Those of y'all who know what I'm talking about, you feel me. So, yeah, man. I'm really happy with where things are going. Let's talk about the season real quick. The whole season, it started off a little slow. The back and forth with the flashbacks was frustrating, but I don't mind it. Reason why is because that's literally how books are told. Like, that's how books go. I matter of fact, if you read Revenge of the Sith novelization, read that and see how it jumps around. Matter of fact, the whole first few scenes, like if you're watching the movie and you go from the point where they get on the General Grievous's ship to the point where they leave, well, when Anakin crashes the ship, there's several different tangents that Michael Stover goes on. He goes on several tangents, and it's not necessarily flashbacks or anything like that, but it's just ways of telling the story and giving you added perspective on the characters. Whereas this is what this story did. And the thing is, the reason why people are probably so upset, and I get it, is because it was marketed as a Sith story. And yes, I understand it, because I'm upset about that too. It didn't feel like a Sith story. However, now I know where it's going, and yes, we have a Sith story. I think we do have a Sith story. If you don't think so, I don't know what to tell you, but I've read enough Sith books to know that this is definitely a Sith story. Maybe it didn't feel that way in this first season, but I feel like where it's going, it is, because the first part had to be told. This story had to be told in order for us to understand where these characters are getting ready to go. And now, oh my God, thank God they didn't do what I thought they was going to do to Venestra. Oh boy, thank you. However, um, they might still do it because it seems like I don't want to spoil. Um, it seems like there's still a lot of story to tell here, and I get why Vernestra was kind of just brought in for bits and pieces of the story, and that was a device to bring in the Senate clearly, um, and that was perfect because the way all the chess pieces were set up on the board, now I know where everything's going. I know how to get the checkmate. Well, maybe I don't know how to get the checkmate, but I know how to set up for it. This is getting ready to be good. Cause season two, just watch it. Season two, baby. Season two, season two. Because we gonna get a little bit more information. And for those of you who think that season two may not come, I think that season two will come. Actually, I think we gonna get Ahsoka season two, and I think we gonna get Acolyte season two, because I think that Lucasfilm is getting ready to give the fandom the big middle finger. Well, not let me not say that, not the fandom. Let me say the toxic fandom, getting ready to give them the big middle finger. Because from what was said, from the article that I read, they are not considered fans, which is my perspective. I stopped arguing with folks now. I don't argue with nobody online or nothing like that no more. I'm done. No more. I'm cool. Because half of y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Half of y'all are babies, entitled babies, brats, who just don't know anything about this franchise, or you don't care about the people who worked on this. You don't care about the people who you know, let me ask anybody who's a writer. Name a writer on this show, and don't look it up. Name a writer. One. Just one. I'll wait. All y'all crying about writing. Don't none of y'all know nothing about no writers? Name a book that you read recently. One. Just one. Come on. I'll wait. Half of y'all, man. I'm cool. I'm cool on all this. Like, the arguing, the debates and everything, no, I'm done. Like, even people who like to, you know, complain about stuff, and they had legitimate complaints. Like, I'm not here to even argue with y'all, man, because 9 times out of 10, yeah, you got legitimate complaints, but sometimes I feel like it's influenced by these other folks. You looking for stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, Star Wars is not going to be 100% perfect every time. The original trilogy is not perfect. It's not a masterpiece at all. Not by any means necessary. I had a conversation with another guy on Facebook a long time ago, back when I was still on Facebook. And we were talking about Star Wars is not like it's for kids, man. Like, and it's not really considered peak cinema. People who really make real movies do not respect Star Wars, man. Like, they're not gonna look at it like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, any adult who is, you know, a real adult is not sitting around waiting for Star Wars to come out so they could sit back and watch Star Wars. No. The reason why I even watch Star Wars is only because the books keep me here. The books keep me as a Star Wars fan because that's what keeps my, adult um that's what keeps the adult side of me entertained. The child side of me is entertained because of nostalgia. All this stuff like the you know moments where you had droids doing silly things like BB-8 doing the thumbs up with the torch, and Pip, and he's spraying May, and like things like that. It's silly, but these are the things that bring back the nostalgia for me. It's silly. Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith and his dialogue, high ground stuff, like all of that. It's just silly, and I love it because it just gives me that nostalgia feeling. What else? Boba Fett, the way he died in the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi. What else? Well, there's not a whole lot of silly moments in the first two movies. Like A New Hope, it's not super silly. Well, you got R2 and C3PO, and they make the silly moments. But yeah, it's not like these movies are not like like a lot of people would try and compare like I remember somebody arguing like Breaking Bad is really great writing. How come Star Wars can't be like that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like Breaking Bad is great writing, but how are you getting ready to try and compare Breaking Bad, which is a firmly adult show, ain't no kids watching this, to Star Wars, where it's primarily for kids? Where Acolyte is supposed to be for the adults and the kids, but mostly the adults. I be trying to get my daughter to watch this one because I know that this one is supposed to, have more of a appeal to girls. But she's not into it at all. She's not into any parts of, like, I even try and show her the parts where because she's into like magic and witches and stuff like that, but that stuff is not she's not into that on Star Wars. Like, as long as she knows it's Star Wars, she's like, no thank you. And even and my son, her older brother, is a huge Star Wars fan, and she adores him. But she is her own person. And that's how I know she sets a limit to how much she lets herself go in his direction, because she loves to do the things that he does. Like, he loves Fortnite, she wants to play Fortnite, but Star Wars, no, she cuts it there. She's not into it at all. But my son, he loves it. He loves Acolyte. Like, once he sees this last episode, I think he's gonna love it too, because he knows who he's gonna see. Like, what you see in this episode, it's good. What you see in this episode is good, and he's gonna be aware. He's gonna know, because he knows about this stuff. He keeps up just as much as I do. And I'm not the one trying to get him to keep up with it. He does this on his own. He has his own YouTube channel. Check it out, Lance Crazy, on YouTube. And he really just makes his own videos about Star Wars. Sometimes he gets into other stuff. He just loves talking about the things that he loves on his channel. And I'm so proud of him. I am so proud of my little boy. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I just want to say that it's been a great season. Oh, no. I didn't even really mention the things that happened throughout the season that I liked and the things that I didn't like. So the things that I didn't like, let me go with those first. So yeah, short episodes. It started off slow. I did start saying that. Yeah, it started off slow. When it got to about episode 5, it got good. There were some choices that I didn't like about the way they handled the show, like as far as, you know, the sets that I saw. Like everything looked like a set most of the time. They had these moments where they had these great shots, but then everything else was like a set and it looked like a set, and I didn't like that. So let's step up the quality of the environment, you know, the sets, the production in the next season. Give them a little bit more money. Let them have a little. Well, that's gonna piss some people off too. That's gonna upset some folks too, cause everybody keep talking about this 180 million, and I'm like, listen, man. If I recall, this whole production had a lot of issues, so I'm not even gonna like try and continue to address that. I know I read an article recently that made me think that Lucasfilm kind of triggered the whole strike in the first place, because AI is getting ready to take over everything, y'all. It still sucks. It sucks booty cheeks, but I use it, and I know that eventually it's going to improve. This is like, you know what, iteration 2, because 2021 was iteration 1, and we rolling into iteration 2, or we're in iteration 2, maybe starting to roll into iteration 3. But yeah, and then Elon's he's got his first successful implant, so AI is getting ready to start doing its thing eventually. We got about 10 years, y'all, and then it's over with. But I'm sure that Lucasfilm had to do some payouts for the technology that they use, and they probably had to pay some people off. I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate too much on that. But anyway, those were the things that I disliked about the show. Some of the dialogue, some of the acting was kind of like the little girls. But you know, it's Disney. It's Star Wars. I mean, everybody remembers Anakin, little Annie. It can't get worse than that. It can't be that bad. Yeah, little Annie is just, whew, boy. So the little girls, hey, that's better than little Annie in my opinion. The little girls were better than little Annie. But what I liked about this whole series, I liked some of the similarities that I saw with some movies, like Come Drink With Me. That first scene where Master and Dara and May are fighting. Like that was dope. Um, I wish we saw more Master and Dara. That's another thing that I didn't like, but I'm cool. I'm cool. We got enough. We got enough of her. But we didn't see more. We didn't see that light whip in action. Like we only saw just a smidgen. But I want to see it in action. I want to see it in battle. But I think that would cost a lot of money. So that will cost some money. But next season. Next season. Um, but the good things that I liked. I like that we have Ernesto Rowe in here. I like that we had the Senate and how the Senate will play a role in the next few seasons if we get a few seasons. Um, I like Jackie. She was yes, but too bad she had to go out. She went out like a G though. She went out like a G. Yes, we got a whole lot of scenes where she was just kicking butt, and then unfortunately, she just wasn't enough. But she did hold her own with a Sith too, nonetheless. Um, I like. Oh no, let me not say nothing. I'm not gonna say that part. Um, I like that there was a lot of aliens. Seeing a lot of aliens was good. I like that a lot of Jedi died in this because that's it definitely should have happened. Oh, I can't say that part either. I'm not trying to spoil nothing. Dang, I just gotta leave it leave it alone. Cause everything that I like, everything that I'm talking about that I like, it all culminates at the very end. Um, I do like what happened with the witches, like their magics. The Brindok witches are their magics are. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that explored. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about everything. Jesus, it all culminates at the very end. She did pay it off. Good job, Leslie. Good job. She did pay it off. Not the way I wanted it to necessarily, but she paid it off enough. Just enough. And she prepared me by saying, hey, we ain't gonna have, like, you just probably not gonna be satisfied completely at the end with all the answers. And hey, I'm fine. I'm fine with not having all the answers just as long as I get season 2. Give me season 2. If you cut this off, I'll probably leave Star Wars forever. Matter of fact, I think I'll just hang it all up. If you cut off the Acolyte, I will hang it all up forever, because at that point you just took away the one thing that I was waiting for. The one thing that I probably sat around waiting for decades, and all I've seen it in is in books. That's it. Only in books. So if you take it away from me, I'm gone. I can happily say that I will leave this franchise because there's nothing else for me to stick around and chill out and watch. You just took away the one thing that I wanted. That one thing, you took it away. So, because there's nothing else for me to, really sit around and chill and wait for at this point. You decided to cater to the fans, or the toxic fans, let me say. You decided to listen to them, and if you gonna listen to them, then you don't deserve my attention anymore. And I will leave. That's the thing. I'm not like these other fools. I will walk away. I know how to walk away from something, and quietly, without coming back to complain every 5 minutes or every time I see a new post. No, I will walk away from this and leave it all alone for good. Just like I did with Transformers. Transformers, as soon as I saw what direction it was headed in, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going, y'all. It was nice. I watched the original cartoon for the first time these last few days, and man, the nostalgia. But the thing is that like nothing will ever compare to that, and Michael Bay just destroyed it. So, and I'm not even a super huge Transformers lore guy. I just know that I would race home from school to watch Transformers every single day. Race home to see that. And G.I. Joe would just get in the way, because I ain't like G.I. Joe. I just wanted Transformers. That was it. Like, hurry up with this G.I. Joe nonsense. I want to watch Transformers. But yeah, I'll walk away. I will leave it all behind. Because I've already left Star Wars behind once. But, and Star Wars is starting to feel like it's becoming a job now, because all these books that I'll be reading, like, they come out with another one and another one and another one. I think it's at the point where it's like two a month now. So I can't keep up. I can't keep up with all these books. And that's why I'm venturing off into other forms of fiction, because Star Wars is the only fiction that I read. So, yeah, it might be a good time to leave as soon as they decide to say Star Wars is not renewing the second season or a new season of the Acolyte. You decide that, I'm gone. I'm cool. Because you shouldn't have did it. You shouldn't have did it in the first place. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but you don't do that. You don't do that. You do not tease me like that. Never ever tease me like that. Because I've been waiting a lot. Let me tell you something. The very first book I read of Star Wars, of the Star Wars lore, was at the very beginning. The very beginning. I won't say it. I won't say it, because it'll give it away. I won't say it. But if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it was the very first book that I read. You probably figure it out if you just go and watch the last live. But man, you take this away from me, y'all. You take this away from me, because I'll finally get to see it. I'll finally get to see it on screen. And it won't be the same. Clearly, it won't be the same. So, and I'm happy about that, because I don't want it to be exactly the same. I don't want to know what's about to happen. And plus, I don't want it to, like, most people seem like they want everything beat for beat, just like they see stuff in the books. And no, never. Like, people keep talking about that's what the sequel should have been. I'm like, no. You're trying to do Heir to the Empire? Like, how? How you gonna do Heir to the Empire? How? How could Heir to the Empire have been done? Somebody tell me. By the time George Lucas gave up Star Wars is 2015. Carrie Fisher, clearly she wasn't gonna be able to do all the, like, she wasn't. First off, if you did Heir to the Empire, you think you was gonna have Carrie Fisher having a kid, having a child? Carrie Fisher, how old was she by the time she passed? I don't know, I can't remember. But Luke Skywalker, how was you gonna do that? Han Solo, how was you gonna do that? Y'all complain about CGI so much. It would have been a CGI fest. Straight CGI movie. You might as well have made it animated. Completely. Because there's no point in even having live action. There's no point in having a live action movie. Period. You might as well did the same thing that the Clone Wars movie did. Just do it all animated. Period. That's the only way it could have worked. So I don't know what people were complaining about. Just, accept that, you can't, it's hard to adapt the old lore or Legends lore to the screen. It wouldn't have worked. And that's why Disney got rid of it. And I understood that. I completely understood that. Like, they was like, nah. And I was pissed when they did that. I was upset. But by the time I sat and thought about it for a while, because, I use my critical thinking skills. But I sat and thought about it for a while, and I was like, yeah, how would they have even pulled that off? Like, how would they make any of this work? The New Jedi Order, Star Wars Legacy of the Force, Fate of the Jedi, how would they have pulled that off? Matter of fact, by the time you get to, where Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher's age is when they made the sequels, that's Fate of the Jedi era right there. Probably a little later, cause they not spring chickens, man. Like they got old, And the people who were complaining about the way Leia was portrayed, like, what were you gonna do? What you think she was gonna be able to do all kinds of Jedi stuff? What, you wanted to see a CGI fest? What did you expect? Man, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people probably gonna complain about this, and whatever. Enjoy complaining about it. I'm gonna see you with Skeleton Crew, where you come back to complain about that too. Everybody gonna probably complain about Skeleton Crew, and they gonna be like, "Oh, Star Wars is dead," for the 100th time that they've said it. Star Wars is dead. Oh, it's woke now. Whatever. I'm loving it because I didn't think I was gonna get all this, but yeah, like I said, you kill this show, and y'all can say goodbye to me. And not that anybody's gonna care. People will probably wave their hands and be like, "See you later." But that's just a choice I'm making, because I just don't feel any need to stick around after that. I mean, I do love Star Wars, but it's really just one thing that I've been waiting for all this time and hoping for to see on a screen, period. That's all I've been waiting for. Cause, man, I know my son that's what he want to see too. And honestly, That's probably gonna be the one thing that'll keep me sticking around is my son. But we'll see how what direction he goes into. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell him too. I'm gonna be like, listen, man, I don't know if I'm sticking around that long because they took the one thing that I wanted away, and I might watch some of these with you, but I'm not gonna be super enthused about it, bro. I'm just not. But yeah. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. It's almost an hour, so yeah. Next video I'll do. I don't know. I might just chill. I didn't even think I was gonna do this video, but I was happy. I was excited. So yeah, I might just chill for a minute. I don't know. I may make some more videos. We'll see. We'll see what the reaction is to this. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.